Ever opened a game, a browser with 20 tabs and a music app, only to watch your computer crawl like it's stuck in molasses? It's not broken. It's just two tiny parts fighting over the same job, and we're going to crack open the mystery of why this happens. Every computer has two superheroes working behind the scenes: RAM and SSD. RAM is like your brain's scratchpad. It holds only what you're using right now. SSD is like a filing cabinet that remembers everything forever. Let's compare them. RAM is lightning fast but tiny, like a desk that holds only 8 sticky notes. SSD is slower but huge, like a library that can store 5 and 12,000 books. Here's the cool part. Each sticky note in RAM is a tiny piece of an app you opened. Open a game, that's 1 note. Open a browser with 4 tabs, that's 4 more notes. Open a music app, add 1 more note. So far, so good. Your computer is zooming along because all 6 notes fit on the desk. RAM. But what happens when you open 1 more app? The desk is full. Your computer can't just throw away a note. It needs that app's data. So it does something sneaky. It swaps the oldest note out to the filing cabinet, SSD, and brings in the new one. Swapping is slow because the computer has to walk to the filing cabinet, find the note, and bring it back. Finding a note on the desk, RAM, takes about 0.0001 seconds. Finding it in the cabinet, SSD, takes about 0.01 seconds. That's 1,000 times slower. Now let's play the app opening game. I'll open apps one by one, and you watch the RAM bar fill up. Ready? App 1 open, RAM used equals 1/8. Speed equals fast, no swaps needed. App 2 open, RAM used equals 2/8. Speed equals still fast. App 3 open, RAM used equals 3/8, speed equals fast. App 4 open, RAM used equals 4/8, speed equals fast. App 5 open, RAM used equals 5/8, speed equals fast. App 6 open, RAM used equals 6/8, speed equals fast. App 7 open, RAM used equals 7/8, speed equals fast. App 8 open, RAM used equals 8/8, full, but speed is still fast because no swaps yet. Now open App 9, RAM is full. The computer swaps the oldest app's data to the SSD and loads App 9. That swap takes 100 US instead of .US. Your computer feels like it's stuck in molasses. Open App 10. RAM is still full, so another swap happens. Now every new app forces a slow swap. Your computer slows to a crawl. So here's the aha moment. When your scratchpad RAM fills up, every new app forces a slow swap to the filing cabinet, SSD. That's why your computer suddenly feels like it's stuck in molasses. Let's look under the hood. RAM is like a fixed-size list in Python. When it's full, we pop the oldest item and append the new one. The popped item goes to the SSD. When you switch back to that app, the computer fetches it from the SSD slowly. So RAM is short-term memory that forgets when you close apps. SSD is long-term memory that remembers everything forever. That's why RAM size matters when you open lots of apps. But here's the trade-off. More RAM is like buying a bigger desk. A 16GB desk holds twice as many notes before swapping starts. But if your computer is slow even with apps closed, your RAM isn't the problem. Maybe your SSD is old or nearly full, like a filing cabinet stuffed with junk. So if your computer slows down only when you open lots of apps, you probably need more RAM. Like getting a bigger desk. But if it's slow all the time, check your SSD or close some apps. Let's do the math. If you have 8GB RAM and open 10 apps, your computer does 2 swaps. Each swap takes 100 US, so total slowdown equals 200 US equals 200 US per new app. That's why it feels sluggish. But if you upgrade to 16GB RAM, you can open 16 apps before swaps start. That's 8 more apps with 0 slowdown. Now your computer feels like it's flying again. So RAM is fast but small. SSD is slow but huge. That's why your computer feels fast at first, then suddenly slows down when you open too many apps. Here's a quick rule of thumb. If your computer slows down only when you open lots of apps, you need more RAM. If it's slow all the time, check your SSD or close some apps. Now you know why your computer freezes when you open too many tabs. Want to learn why your phone's battery dies so fast? Then hit subscribe and we'll crack open the mystery of that tiny light you see every day.